Hello and welcome to this afternoon's class. My name is Jane and I am your guide today. And today we're going to be doing a guided meditation stroke visualization. Excuse me. And this is a class that I used to do in the evenings from here in the UK, but now we've moved them to the afternoons, and I haven't sort of had the same sort of people coming on the classes and everything. So this time I am going to repeat one that I did last week. Normally I do a new one every week, but I really wanted to share this one with as many people as possible for the start of the new year. So if you were here last week, then it's a repeat of this class, or it's a repeat of the meditation anyway. But every time you do a meditation live, you get something different from it. And if you're new to the class, then we're going to be doing one about cutting threads, if you like. So today, just settle yourself in, get yourself comfortable, and I'm just going to just see that I've got a chat here. Bear with me 2 seconds. I just need to reply to a message in my chat, and I can't do that without. There we go. That's me got sorted. Yeah, I can't multitask when I'm typing and trying to think about what I want to say as well. So here I am today, and we're going to be doing this meditation class. Now, if you've been in any of my meditation classes before, you might know that at the beginning of this class, I go into the benefits of meditation, and we talk about that somewhat. And I think it's really worthwhile doing that. If you're only doing a meditation once a week, then going into the reasons why you are actually wanting to take part in it is a very good way to spend a few minutes settling yourself into the whole program of it and allowing yourself to relax into the idea of why you actually want to do it. When I'm not here on Get Set Up, I'm working with clients one-to-one or in groups as a hypnotherapist. And I like to give meditations as part of sort of my general business thing anyway. So this is one that I created, and I've kind of, there's nothing new under the sun. So you take influences from other people from different times and things maybe you've heard or read or whatever. But I like to take sort of what I like from a meditation that somebody else has produced, and it may have sat in my mind for a long time. So I've been saving this one for the start of the new year. And then I adapted it to create something for the class here today. So I hope that you're going to enjoy it. So if you do want to listen in to the advantages of being here in the class, then that's good. If you want to, I don't know where the class went there. My screen just suddenly went a bit funny, so bear with me. I'm going to actually bring up the slides. I think that might be a good idea. I'll do that right now. Oh, now bear with me 2 secs. I'm just going to rearrange my slides because I have no idea what happened there. My actual slide went AWOL. 2 seconds. No idea what happened there because I have my slides open on a second screen. I know there's been a couple of technical problems with Zoom today. It's not Get Set Up, it's Zoom itself. So it may be something to do with that. But if you just bear with me 1 minute, I will be ready to share my screen with you. And I shall get ahead and do that. And now I've got it open twice and I've no idea why that's happened. So we'll go with it. I'm cool with that. I hope you are as well. So just before we get started, there's a couple of things I want to share with you. And one of them is that if you're joining us from the lounge, that's absolutely fine. Everybody's welcome to join this class from wherever they want to join it. There's no pressure to be here live in the Zoom class. But if you are joining us from the lounge and you have any comments or questions, then what you need to do is you need to pop them into the chat. And when you do that, it forwards, they'll be forwarded here to me in the live class by Michael, who's our technical assistant today. He's really helpful, and if you have any problems yourself, then you can just ask him and he'll help you in the background. If, of course, you want to join us live in the main Zoom class, then what you need to do is press the orange Join Zoom button, and that brings you live into the class here. And I see we've got a couple of people who've joined now, so that's really nice. But like I say, stay where you feel comfortable, and that's good for everybody. So you can see my slides now, and you can see that we are going to be doing this relaxing and experiential group session, and I am just going to move on to the objectives. Hopefully that will bring up the new slide. If you see me looking off to the right at any point, then that's simply because I've got another screen to the right and I can actually read my slides better from there. So bear with me while we do that. And the objectives of this class today are to explore the benefits of meditation and visualization. We're going to have a look at ways you can incorporate it into your daily life. And although you'll be listening to a fairly long meditation today, there may be elements of it that stick in your mind that with a few deep breaths, etc., you can take yourself back into the place or to the part of this that was the most meaningful for you. So I'll explain a few ways you can do that, and you can join in with your own meditation at any point. And this week's theme of the visualization meditation, I've already explained that this is a repeat of last week's one because it's at the start of the year and I want people to enjoy it. And it's quite an in-depth protocol as well. So I think it bears listening to twice at least to get the full meaning of it and to take on some of the ideas from it. But before we start, I really want to think about some of the benefits of meditation and visualization. And when we think about this, we might be thinking, well, what does it actually mean? What does meditation mean? And it's been known for thousands of years as being a mind-body form of, it's an exercise that we do. It's a way of us being able to connect our minds and bodies together. It's something that we can do to take control over our minds and our thoughts to a certain extent. And with practice, we get better and better at it. I think that a lot of people have an expectation that it's something that is so straightforward that when they start doing it, they're going to be instant experts. And it's exactly the same as anything else you do for the first time. You might notice that your mind wanders and you might be thinking, oh my goodness, there's something wrong with this. I'm not doing it right. I don't know how to do it right. But I want to reassure you that whatever you experience for yourself is fine for you. And when your mind wanders, it's exactly what happens for everybody else that meditates. So when that does happen, the only thing that you have to do is gently guide your mind back to the voice that's giving the meditation, or if you're doing it for yourself, just guide yourself back to your own breath. And by doing that, you're starting to train your mind to come back into the here and now and to listen to what you've given yourself time to do. So in the first few times that you listen to a meditation or you practice meditation for yourself, you might be noticing that you're having to do this every few seconds, perhaps, or every few minutes. And that's fine, because that's what our minds are built to do. They're built to go all over the place and think one step ahead and go back into things that have happened in the day and organize and just generally be all over the place. And we're simply training our minds through meditation and visualization to slow down a bit, to attempt to focus on fewer things at any given time, and to take our attention to something that we actually want to focus on. And that leads me on to the first bullet point of this class here, which is all about the benefits of meditation and visualization. And reducing stress is one of the most common reasons why people try meditation or adopt a meditation practice. And when we are sitting in a chair, just take an example. Say you're sitting in the chair. I'm going to demonstrate this. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm looking out the window and sort of noticing that the day is going past. And I've promised myself that I'm going to go for a walk. And I've got caught up in a dozen things on my laptop, and I'm looking at the day and the light's starting to fade, and I'm thinking it's a really nice day and I really should go for that walk. And then all of a sudden I go, right, come on, I get up and go. When I make that decision to do that and I physically move to go for the walk, it releases in my body a chemical called cortisol, and that's a stress hormone. And this is what its function is to make us do things that we want to do. And it's to motivate us physically to do the things that our brains are telling us that we want to do. So when we make that decision to get up and go for the walk, the cortisol floods through the body, it gets everything ready and primed within the body to make the movements to go for the walk. And then once I'm up and moving, and that's become my new comfortable thing of doing, I'm getting ready to go out and this, that, and the other, the cortisol level just drops back down again. And that's how it's supposed to work in our body. But when we get stressed about things and we're thinking about what we should be doing and we're putting ourselves under pressure and we're thinking about our to-do list and we're worrying about what somebody might say if we don't do what we say we're going to do, or we're thinking back to a conversation we had an hour ago that didn't go the way we wanted it, or we're caught up in a memory that we don't like, then our cortisol level sort of jumps up to that as well, because it feels like there's a little bit of, there's something going to happen. It's at a point where, oh my goodness, I need to be ready for this, but nothing's really happening. So our cortisol level stays higher than it should for a longer period of time. And that is really not good for us. It's not good for our physical health. It's not good for our mental health. It's what it does is it can promote anxiety in a chronic form. It can start to promote some forms of depression. It can affect our blood pressure. And when we get sort of overwhelmed by this and our cortisol level is up and it's giving us this, come on, we need to be doing something, but we don't really know what we're meant to be doing. And it actually helps us to feel more tired and our thinking becomes cloudier as well. So we just find ourselves stuck in this point of, I don't know what to do next, but we have this feeling that we should be doing something. So when we meditate, it starts to separate out all these different parts of our thoughts and our behaviors, etc. And it lets some of it settle down. It allows our cortisol levels to settle down again. And from there, we can just sort of go, oh, this feels nice. And it takes us back to how we probably would have felt had we not got ourselves in a bit of a state in the first place from overthinking and getting our cortisol levels up and getting them stuck up there. So how does it affect our blood pressure as a result of this? Well, it relaxes the nerve signals that coordinate the heart function, the blood vessel tension, and this fight or flight response that we've almost got ourselves into. And the interesting thing is as well that once we become practiced at meditation, and we can start off with just a couple of minutes a day and build up, because remember, we're not going to be experts from the word go. It pays to build up gradually so that over a period of time, we get really good at longer meditations. But the huge advantage for our blood pressure is that not only does it help us during the meditation itself, but it has long-lasting effects afterwards as well. So we're supporting our physical health by taking on a meditation practice. The other thing is as well that once we start separating out all of these thoughts during meditation, we get to realize what's important, and we don't just blindly believe everything we're thinking. We start to be able to challenge negative thoughts because we've given ourselves a little bit of space to do so. When we're feeling overwhelmed and hurried, it's tempting to think that everything that we're thinking is true. And we often beat ourselves up about this as well, which is a bit of a pointless exercise. So when we can just give ourselves that mental space through the practice of visualization or meditation, then what happens is that those negative thoughts get challenged and we start to be able to stand up to them and actually stand up to ourselves and feel better about ourselves. I've talked about how when we're overwhelmed, we start having this fatigue, this cloudy thinking. It's a sense of brain fog. It's just this sense of overwhelm. For the same reasons, again, when we become better controlled at thinking about how we want to think and focusing on what we want to think about, then that helps our focus, that helps our mental clarity, and we can achieve so much more as a result of it. One of the reasons lots of people don't sleep, and over 50% of the Western population, once they get to middle age or beyond, have problems either getting off to sleep or staying asleep. And when we focus on what we want, when we reduce these cortisol levels in our blood, when we feel better about ourselves, then we just relax more easily, and it allows us to get off to sleep more easily. And when we do wake in the middle of the night, if we have a quick meditation practice, maybe a body scan or something like that, we can use that to settle our mind, to settle our thoughts, and take our attention back into our breath, and it helps us sleep more easily. When I'm working with people, often come across people that have chronic physical pain, or they have chronic mental pain. They have got themselves into situations perhaps that they feel that they can't get themselves out of. They feel this feeling that they are under the stress of feeling a mental pain. Or I have people who've perhaps been ill or have had an operation, or they've had some sort of injury. And this is particularly the case with athletes, etc., or people who've had, maybe they've been living with hip pain or knee pain for a long time, and they've had hip or knee replacement surgery. And their wound is actually healed. Their body has started to adapt to it. They've been given the all clear by a doctor. And then they're saying, but I'm still experiencing a lot of pain. And that pain is no longer serving any purpose, if you like, because pain, when it's a new pain or it's a sharp pain, it's there to give us a warning that we need to pay attention to it. However, when we've been given the all clear and our bodies have healed from whatever we were suffering from, and the same goes with mental pain, we may be out of the situation where the mental pain occurred, but we still keep experiencing it. So when we do meditation, self-hypnosis, visualization, etc., it helps to shift our focus away from the thing that we've almost got caught into a loop of thinking, and noticing the sensations and keeping them at the forefront of our mind. When we meditate, it puts them to the back of our mind, it diminishes the perception, and sometimes it eradicates it altogether. I usually say to people when I'm working with them for pain or discomfort, we do where is your pain on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being I can hardly notice it, and 10 being all encompassing. It's the only thing I think about. It's exhausting. It is my life. And they do that before we work together and at the end of it. And once they've developed their own meditation practice, again, we come back to it. And sometimes people get down to a 2 or a 3. And I say to them, can you live with that? Is that doable? Is it something that you can tolerate easily? And they go, yeah, that's fine by me. This is so much better than where I was. And we leave it at that. And then very, very slowly over a period of time, it might diminish further. But sometimes it might stay there and people are happy with that, and that's good. So this brings me on to the second point of the objectives today, and the accessibility. And I've talked about using it as a means to get to sleep at night. I've talked about it for things like the diminishing of pain, etc. But it's so much more versatile than that. It is something that you can use wherever you are, as long as you are safe and you're looking after yourself. And that is the key to this. You must be somewhere where it's safe and you are looking after it yourself. It's called your ecology. So not while you're driving, not while you're operating machinery, not while you have to give your attention to something that is going to keep you safe. When you're working in a hot environment or with any sorts of sharp instruments or something like that. And all that we have to do is make sure that when we have our practice ready, we are going to be somewhere where we can be safe, where we can perhaps in the first place be undisturbed. When you get really good at this, you can meditate almost anywhere. And if somebody disturbs you, you can just click out of it. And then when you can go back to being undisturbed, you can click back into it. It becomes that easy. So this is something that you can do when you are waiting for a bus, when you're standing in a queue, waiting to pay for your groceries, when you are traveling, when you are just waiting for somebody. Anytime, or even if you sit down with a cup of tea or coffee in the afternoon and you think, I've just got such a busy day, I need 5 minutes. And to prepare yourself to actually enjoy your cup of tea or coffee without feeling guilty, you can do a small meditation practice, and that just helps to settle your mind and put you in a place where you can enjoy whatever it is, the break that you've given yourself, which you undoubtedly deserve, without any feelings of guilt or any I should be feelings as well. So a great way to start off with is just to give yourself some deep breaths. Sit somewhere, just allow yourself to settle into the surface beneath and give yourself 3 deep breaths. And on each in-breath, you imagine breathing in the word calm or relax or comfort, whatever word is suitable for you in the given moment, however you want to feel during your meditation. So you're doing that on each of your in-breaths, and on each out-breath, you allow that sense or that feeling to spread throughout your body. And after only 3 breaths, you might just want to close your eyes and then focus on what it is that you want to focus on, whether it's an element from a meditation you've heard, or whether it's an audio that you have, or whether it's something that you know that you can focus on and give your attention to for 2 or 3 minutes. And remember, when your mind wanders, and it will, just bring your attention back to your breath or to the thoughts you want to focus on. And just do that. You can even set yourself a timer so that you're not thinking, oh my goodness, have I spent too long doing this? So it is accessible. It's something you can do anywhere that you want to be. And I am just going to bring up the start of our meditation now. And I hope you can bear with me a second. I'm going to have a glug of my tea now. I've mentioned tea. Just to make sure that I'm not too dry for while I'm speaking. And the picture on the screen today is a picture of fiber optic cable. And I love this picture because it's actually very similar to the sort of idea of what's going on in our brains. We have trillions of neurons in our brains, and they're kind of organized in a way that's like hair nets, if you like. They interconnect, but it's layers upon layers of microscopic hair nets that create electrical impulses throughout our brains. And when we're thinking thoughts and we're getting caught up in something, we get caught in loops of neural activity, neural pathways they're called. And electrical impulses actually jump from the end of one neuron to another, and that's what creates the loop. And so today's meditation is all about starting out, and I know we're almost halfway through January. I can hardly believe it. But for some people, and this has been the case for myself this year, I'm normally hitting the ground running at the start of January. I have everything organized for what I want to do, and I'm ready to go. But this year, I've had a couple of weeks of just getting my head around the new year. I carried some things forward from last year, some thoughts, some ideas, just some situations from last year that I wasn't quite prepared to set aside, if you like. And then a couple of new things have just popped into my life this year as well that I have to work around. So I've been really kind to myself this year. Instead of forcing myself into, oh my goodness, I need to get going, I've cut myself some slack. I've said, right, okay, let's just not overthink this and see what pops up, see what we can set aside for now and what we can come back to. And I've just spent a little bit of time creating effectively a priority list. And this is really where this meditation was born out of. I knew that this year was going to be slightly different for me. And so this is why I'm still using it in the second week of January, because like me, you might have taken a little while to get used to the idea that we're into the new year and to settle your thoughts and have some ideas of how you want your year to be. So if you're ready just now, I just want you to find yourself somewhere comfortable to sit. Just do those 3 deep breaths that I was talking about, where you can breathe in whatever word that you want to experience during this meditation. Just let yourself breathe in that word, and on the out breath, allow it to spread through your body. And if you notice any tension that you've been holding on to from throughout the day, as you let that word or that breath spread through your body, imagine it dissolving that tension that you've been holding on to and just letting go of it. Okay, and when you're ready, just close your eyes and just begin to allow yourself to relax. And relaxing into this moment in time, and relaxing into this moment in your body. And as your relaxation deepens, allow your breathing to deepen as well, just like you were doing with your 3 initial breaths. Find yourself pulling your inhalations, your in-breaths, down deeper through, and perhaps even feeling like it's almost going beyond the lower levels of your lungs. Imagining almost that you can breathe all the way down into your hips. And then follow each in-breath with some nice long exhales. Each breath drawing you down deeper and deeper into the now, as you begin to get a sense of time and place, making less sense as you allow yourself just to be suspended here in this present moment, wherever or whatever that even is. Suspended in the here and now. And by breathing in these long, comfortable breaths, all you're doing is allowing yourself to be lulled into the sense and the level of comfort that is perfect for you. The kind of feeling where perhaps you can't quite tell if you're floating or if you're being held, or whether you're sinking deeper into the surface beneath you. And simply allowing your eyes behind your eyelids to relax on down as well. Imagining that somehow you can look behind your eyes and almost peer into the darkness of your mind behind them, into this dark space that is your mind. And perhaps it's even a black space that goes far beyond the space within your head. And as you delve deeper within your own consciousness to find the part of you that you know you can trust to support you for your best and highest good, then it's with this intention that you're calling upon this part of yourself now. And so here in the darkness of your mind, perhaps you can imagine a tiny orb or bubble of higher consciousness beginning to form, taking on a little glow, starting to illuminate the depths of your mind ever so slightly. And the more you pay attention to this little orb or bubble, the more it's really there. So by giving it all of your attention now, you allow it to expand a bit more, a bit more. And the more you give it attention, the more it expands, and the easier it expands in your mind's eye. And you may be aware of the idea of a third eye. And this third eye, if you are aware of the idea, is your mind's eye that sits between and slightly above your real closed eyes. And imagine this expanding orb or bubble being pulled or drawn towards the third eye area that is between your real eyes and slightly above them, to this dreamy sort of otherworldly space right there in your own mind, your mind's eye. And imagine this orb or this bubble now passing through this third eye space. And you might even notice a feeling or a sound as this happens. Some people report noticing a gentle hum or even a temperature shift, or just a comfortable feeling like a massage. And once this orb or this bubble of higher consciousness comes right out of your mind and right out of your body, so that it's now floating in front of those closed eyes that you have, maybe you can even imagine its nearness there, or even feel it in some way. And this orb or bubble is your higher self, the part of you that has access to all there is. And imagine now looking out through your closed eyelids. Looking into this part of your mind that's now outside of you. Perhaps imagining that your eyes behind your closed eyelids are even binoculars, looking up into the sky of your mind, looking at this orb and watching it expand through your imagination so that it becomes limitless. Imagine what it looks like. The sense that there's almost an otherworldly, out-of-body experience within your own mind, because you can imagine this place that is your mind that's so expansive once it's been freed from the confines of your brain cavity. By becoming aware of this incredible part of yourself and just marveling at the idea that all of this is normally kept inside your own head, inside your own mind, but by the use of your imagination, you've created a space where you're actually looking at it through your closed eyelids. And this is the part of you that can see the things that your eyes can't see, those invisible things like forgotten things. It can sense energy, can hear things that have gone unheard, that can sense time. And this gives the very same part of you, the same part of yourself that imagines. It gives you the daydreams and the night dreams and all your creative ideas. And very often your eyes can't see these, but your mind's eye can. The part of you that has access to information from beyond your physical self. And just let yourself go with this idea in whichever form seems right to you. And while you do this, understand that you are, in fact, an energetic being. You are contained within a field of energy that is one of a kind. It's yours, and it's with you everywhere you go. It's designed to protect you and also to project out into the world those unique and beautiful qualities that you were born with, projected out onto the people and the places that you venture, so that you may leave an indentation in their mind, a place, an indelible mark perhaps. So get a sense now of this cocoon of energy that surrounds you and holds you, as if it's surrounding your very physical being. Perhaps again, you may notice a sound from it or a feeling from it, a warmth or a buzzing or something like that. Just this sense of your own energy. Tune into this energy field and feel what it feels like, and imagine what it might look like if you could see it. Perhaps you want to think about it almost as though it's a garment that you wear. It's the clothing that is you, and you're wearing it everywhere, every day. Something perhaps light and breathable, comfortable, maybe something made of cotton or gauze. Or you may prefer to think of your energy field as something warm and fuzzy, like a cuddly blanket or a sweater, or even a onesie that's zipped up and covering your whole body, that hugs you. Or perhaps it's a classic suit. Whatever your mind's eye and your imagination comes up with means that it's right for you. And you wear this everywhere. You've worn it everywhere you've ever gone. You're going to wear it wherever you go. For everything you've ever done or that you'll ever do. No matter who you meet, what the occasion is, this is what you're wearing everywhere, this energy field. And so sometimes it needs some attention. Can you imagine if you're wearing the same item of clothing your whole life? Maybe it needs a little maintenance or mending. Maybe it needs just a bit of TLC, some love. And as you experience life, the experiences and connections you make might hook into or extend from this garment as threads of time and energy and memory, artfully weaving themselves in such a way, energetically connecting you to all of your life experiences, all of the people you've ever met, all of the places you've traveled, as well as all of the trials and tribulations that you've endured. Perhaps difficult relationships, difficult people, difficult situations. And just imagine now that this energy field that's like a garment that you're wearing, if you've encountered any prickly people or situations, you can imagine that they've snagged this garment, this energy. They've damaged it in some way. Perhaps they've pulled some threads. And so today, here and now, during this meditative visualization, we are going to give some maintenance, some mending, and some love to your energy field to prepare you to move on with this new year. And you have complete autonomy and control over your energy field. You have absolute sovereignty. You are in charge over your life experience. And by being here today, here in this class, and being part of this experiencing community today, you're already aware of the impact of connection because you've all chosen to be here now for this experience. And perhaps even if you're in the lounge or if you're in the Zoom class, at some point you've looked at who else is there and noticed that you're both here at the same time in the same space. Just another series of threads connecting us to places, people, and periods of our life. Some are formed by time and frequency, and some are formed by intensity. Just begin to imagine how many threads might make up the tapestry of your life up to this point that are creating this garment that makes up the energy that you wear around your body. And think of it as some of these threads are being brought to your energy field to bring energy and life into it. And other ones are being brought to bring an energy that actually draws away from your energy field. Some are beautiful and delicate and fine. Maybe they shimmer and glimmer or glow. Perhaps they feel light and warm and welcoming. Perhaps there are collars and cuffs or even bracelets formed by these different threads that are being attracted into your energy field. That's right, just take a moment to think about this, about all the people and places that have given something to your energy field, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. And they can bring on good feelings and intuitive nudges and behaviors that enhance your life. Some might feel strong and bring a sense of stability and sturdiness, a steadiness perhaps, keeping you grounded, keeping you on track, and guiding you as you journey through this life. And there will be other threads, without any doubt, that are thick. They might feel binding or constrictive. Ones that have tethered you to a time, a place, a person, or an event from your past. Maybe some of these threads have got a stretch to them, like they have a bit of a pull to them. Some might feel sticky, so that certain things are attracted and collected and stuck to them. Some might feel tangled or knotted or snagged. They might look dry or dull or dusty, or they may even have the heaviness of chains or shackles. And these are the threads that hold you back from being free to evolve, free to move along your desired path. But right now, let's just put those aside, and I'd like you to bring to mind the idea of true and unconditional love. Something that's rare and beautiful. And this notion of unconditional love, where in your body, when you think those words, do you feel the idea of this? For some people, it's a sensation or a color. For others, it's a sound or a texture that goes along with this feeling of unconditional love. And when you notice where this idea of unconditional love lives within yourself, just become aware of a pleasant strand of energy, a thread of energy extending out from that place within your body. And let yourself follow it now across time and space to find someone or something that represents an experience of unconditional love in your life, whether it's happened in reality or in your imagination. And allow this thread that's spreading from your area of unconditional love to them, and it's attaching yourself. And allow yourself a moment to notice this beautiful feeling and the connection and the thread that delivers this feeling to you and from you. And imagine it being reflected back into you now, just streaming into you right now, streaming into your energy field and right into your body, into your blood and into your bones, so that you have a sense of being immersed in unconditional love. Notice what you notice and feel what you feel. And understand that you can call on this feeling anytime and anywhere, simply by having an intention to experience unconditional love. This thread is yours to receive from. And it's from this space of unconditional love that you're working right now with your higher self. This part that's come out, this orb that came out through your mind's eye, that is expanded into every single bit of your awareness. And now that you've imagined this thread of unconditional love, and you've noticed what it feels like for it to expand from yourself to connect somewhere else, and then to receive it back. I want you to take your attention now to the idea that there is one thread that you've woven into your garment, or it's snagged, or it's there on this garment of your energy, and it needs to be severed. And when I say this, a part of you might already have an idea as to who or what you'd like to cut threads from today, in order to let you move on with this the coming year. But just know that your higher self knows the one that's right for you right now. And you might not even know which one it is yet. So allow yourself to be surprised, knowing that your higher self is working for your best and your highest good. There's just one thread right now that needs to be cut. And by cutting this thread and severing this energetic connection, you will be released and set free from something or someone that was holding you back in some way. A connection that is no longer needed or necessary. And you can think of the concept of cutting threads as starting over on a clean slate, turning over a new leaf, starting the year as you mean to continue. And this thread that's been rubbing or irritating or just getting in the way or ruining the picture for you. It may be from a person or a thing that you don't intend to carry into your future. But it also may be from someone or something that you do intend to keep in your life or encounter again. And so just know that this act can be a fresh start as well. And that this benefits whoever or whatever is on either end of the connecting thread. So that this can be a friendly act that's been done in the spirit of unconditional love. It is an act of goodwill, of self-care and self-love. And if you've ever tried embroidery or needlepoint, and you've created a picture where perhaps there are thousands and thousands of threads, you would know that you can take out a single thread in that weave or in that picture without affecting the whole picture, that you might not even really notice that it's gone. But if an embroiderer or an artist has created a beautiful picture from threads and then notices that there is one thread that stands out that is flawed or damaged, or if it was just a mistake, or if somehow it feels a little bit off, then that one thread can be snipped and removed, leaving the picture absolutely intact in every other way. It's actually enhanced the picture. So imagine your higher self now examining the energetic embroidery of your life thus far, all the pictures that have been created by the threading onto the tapestry or onto the background of your life. Imagine your higher self gazing through those closed eyes into the sky of your mind, into this open space across time, space, energy, and memory, seeing the things that your eyes can't see and knowing the things that once you didn't know. Gazing upon this impressive swatch of human experiences, all those years of gathering experiences and situations and people throughout the time of your life. And just notice the one thread in this tapestry at this time that stands out. The one thread that maybe needs to be snipped or cut back. And in a moment, your higher self is going to choose that thread. And first, you're going to observe it without yet knowing where it connects to you within your energy field, this garment that you're wearing, your energy field. And so allow yourself, this higher self that is you, that knows the unknown and sees the unseen, to choose a single thread and present it to you now. And notice the texture or the color of the thread. What's it made of? And I invite you to name the emotion associated with this thread. And notice where in your body you sense that this thread stems from. That it spans the space, time, and memory of your mind. And in a moment, not yet, but in a moment, you're going to follow it with your mind's eye across space, time, and memory to find out who or what is on the other end in exactly the circumstances that you have this connection. So counting down from 3 to 1 as you scan the length of this thread to the other end. 3 spanning time, energy, and memory. 2 crossing space and experience, and 1 arriving at the other end now. You are now there, finding where this thread originates, where it came from, and understanding that this is the connection that is to be severed today. Whether it's to be severed for good or whether it's to create a new start. And as you look at it, notice the energy that comes through this thread, what direction it flows in, and are the currents big or small? And is this the right time for you to practice forgiveness? Perhaps forgiveness towards what or who is on the other end of that thread, or perhaps even forgiveness to yourself. And suddenly realizing and knowing that forgiveness is almost like any other way of cutting threads. And if it feels right to you and appropriate, you may even give thanks to this person or situation for the unique perspective gained from this connection, from this thread that has joined both of you. Give thanks for any lessons that may have even propelled you into new directions, or that are going to give you the opportunities now in the coming year to move in new directions. And create in your mind's eye a beautiful pair of golden scissors with little sharp points, perhaps decorated or shaped like a bird's beak, just like embroiderer's own. And imagine, just like a bird's beak, they're symbolic of cutting threads. Symbolic of cutting through the energetic connections you make throughout your life, from birth all the way through to death. So within, so without. And in a few moments, once you feel comfortable holding those little golden scissors with their very sharp points and just the right size and the right shape for cutting through one very fine thread, you are going to cut through the thread that your mind has presented to you. And if it feels appropriate to use these little scissors, then do so. But if your mind comes up with another tool to use, then that's absolutely fine as well, because that will feel right and powerful for you. Or you may even choose to watch the thread simply disintegrate, or anything else that your creative mind comes up with. So go ahead and cut that thread now, as any energy of yours that merged with that person or thing on the other end comes rushing back into the energy field of yours now and back into your body, feeling the energy, and imagine it being pulled back into you, right back into your body at the site that the thread once extended from. And there may even be a chill or a tingling or a buzzing sensation or just some other feeling that you associate with this. All of this energy surging back into your energy field now, mending the garment of energy that you wear everywhere and always. And just noticing that anything that no longer makes up part of these healthy, mended and maintained threads, the ones that are full of love, anything that you no longer need, that is no longer a part of these threads, it just gets sent back to whence it came. And the rest of your embroidery remains intact, but for that one thread. You are whole and complete without this connection. And let yourself see this as final. So make sure you've released any and all resentments now, because resentments are just like sticky kinds of threads that build up over time, gathering dust and gathering dirt. Release it all now. And remember that thread of unconditional love. If you need some more of it now, let it extend into your energy field. And allow yourself to feel lighter as you move freely in the direction you choose, whether you've severed something permanently or whether you're ready to make a new start with this situation or this person. And you might even get a little tweak of intuition or motivation straight away, or it may come to you over the next few days. But all that's important now is that this time today has automatically made you more subconsciously aware of the energies that surround you at any given time. The thought that you are connected to other people and other situations by threads that can be snipped and tidied and cleaned up to make your picture complete and whole without having any effect. So bring your attention back now to that orb of higher consciousness that's still floating about in front of your closed eyes. And call it back in now through this third eye space between and slightly above your eyes. Pulling it back into your mind, into the dark recesses where it nestles comfortably at the base of your skull. And understand that this part of you is always with you, acting as your inner compass, and all of the extra sensory awareness you've access to is right here in the back of your mind at all times. It is aware when there's a thread that needs maintenance or attending to. But for now, you can start to bring energy and awareness back into your body now and back to the surface it's resting on, the surface beneath your body and into the space that you're in, feeling that energy rising within your field, ready to propel you forward now, to make you feel good about yourself, to let you move on with your life. And you now can open your eyes and begin to come back into the world that awaits. This place where your energy field has been repaired and maintained and infused with unconditional love. And as you open your eyes, I just want to welcome you back.